Hello, and today we're going to address 3 reasons why you have not been able to stick to healthy eating. This is a big pain point for a lot of people. Like they know what to do, but they don't do it. And they might do it for maybe a week, a month, but then fall back to the old habits that are not very helpful, right? I'm Dr. Amina. I am a physician and health coach, and generally I help people feel better by eating better. All right, so let's dive right into 3 reasons why you are not able to stick to healthy eating. The first one, and I actually think this is the most important one, is that I think there are not enough people around you making these healthy choices. I think the number one biggest reason for people not making healthy choices is that they don't see anybody else around them doing it. One example that really drove this home for me, one of a patient that I had some time ago, he had a trip to Israel. And he was there for about 2 weeks at least, if not more. And he said that he just couldn't believe that everybody was eating healthy. It wasn't like an anomaly, some sort of health nut, eating salad and vegetables. He said everybody was eating healthy. It was so amazing. And so he said he ate healthily too, because also there were no really unhealthy foods. He said there was really no junk food. And so he had no choice but to eat healthy. But guess what? He said he felt better than he had ever felt in his whole life. He felt amazing. He said he had energy. He said he didn't have stomach issues. He just couldn't believe how good he felt. And he actually ended up losing a few pounds while he was in Israel as well. He said it was just unbelievable. He lost weight without trying to lose weight, right? And it had to do, he realized afterwards, that it was what he was eating. Now he came back and he tried for a little bit to keep up with the healthy eating, but it was so hard and nobody around him was doing it. Now, of course, I'm in Mississippi and, maybe it's not like some places in California. I went to San Diego once and I couldn't believe it. How everybody, like in the restaurants, they were like being really specific about the foods they were ordering and so on. And then there were so many people exercising and a lot of fit looking people as well, right? So in that environment, there are more people making healthier choices. And so it kind of makes you want to do it as well. I guess a bit of peer pressure, which is human nature, right? So this guy came back from Israel and basically got back into the same old habits because nobody else was doing that. And furthermore, it's so hard. Like it's not like you can easily get these foods sometimes, especially in a place like Mississippi. And so unfortunately, he went back to the old habits and he ended up regaining the weight that he lost, right? So I think definitely not having enough people around you making healthy choices is a big factor. And that's why it is said that just having a buddy, so you might not be surrounded by a lot of people making these healthy choices, but if you can at least have one person who's like your buddy, your accountability partner, and both of you together decide that you're going to hold each other accountable and checking with each other and just kind of keep each other with this sort of healthy eating, give permission to each other to call you out and say, hey, what are you doing? Like, you're not supposed to be having that, right? Just permission, because it's so hard otherwise. And it's the same for children as well. A lot of people would say, my child doesn't like to eat vegetables and they don't want to drink water and so on and so forth. But oftentimes it's because they're not seeing you do these things, right? They haven't noticed, they haven't observed you doing these things from the time they were born, right? When children see that their parents are eating vegetables, salad. I mean, my son, he would eat greens. So he would ask for, he's like, Mommy, can you make some salad for me? He would ask for salad. And that's because he's been seeing salad in the house and we're not forcing ourselves to eat it. We are eating it and enjoying it. And so he picks up on that vibe. And so he wants salad and he eats salad because it's normal to him. Everybody else around him is doing it, right? So no one around you is eating healthy. I think that's like one of the biggest problems. Even at work, like when I have noticed that because I make healthier choices, I would see people at work, nurses and other people, I can see them really trying to make better choices. I mean, if the head of the team, it's like any corporation, right? If the boss is really kind of appears or seems to be making better choices than the others want to like sort of follow the leader, right? Now, if the boss is just doing any old thing and eating any old way and really not caring, then the others would have a lower likelihood, generally speaking, to make the healthy choices as well, right? Number two is also important. Essentially, it's been a challenge for you to keep up with the healthy eating because you have not become the person, right? You have not become the person who makes the healthy choices, right? So it's not like we know, all of us know what to do, like we literally know what to do, right? But do we do it? Not necessarily, right? So think of like an athlete, some kind of sports person, like they are the person who will get up and train and practice for hours on end, you know, kicking that ball or throwing that ball or batting that ball or whatever it is. Like that is them. It's like normal for them, right? I'm talking about like these professional players. They have become the person to make the choices necessary to be that elite athlete and to win games and so on. No. Would I do that? No, I'm not the type of person who's going to get up early and go practicing for hours on end some kind of sport, right? So, you know, by extension, you can say for eating as well, like, are you the person who will continue to make the choices? Now, people, like, first example I gave was like being surrounded by people. So when you're surrounded, then you just automatically become that person. So as a child growing up, I grew up vegetarian. Not that I'm saying that that's the best way, because it probably isn't, but that's how I grew up. And so it's ingrained in me to eat a lot of vegetables and plant-based foods. Now I do eat fish, you know, seafood, right? So and dairy and so on and so forth, right? But basically, I am the person. So I'm not gonna go out and suddenly, you know, go to Burger King and get French fries, right? Or I'm not gonna go and binge on a bag of potato chips. I could, but I won't, because I know I'm going to suffer. I'm going to pay the price at the end of it. I just know it's not going to help me to have the health or to continue to have the health that I want to have. So I'm not going to do it because I know what I want and I know what I want for my body, right? So, you know, you just have to you have to know what is your reason for, you know, that wanting that health. And then once you know and you keep working towards it and just kind of doing it day in, day out until it becomes automatic for you, right? Right? They talk, Zig Ziglar and several other people like in the personal development space talk about be, do, have, right? So you have to become the person in your core who will do the things necessary to have what it is that you want. In this case, we're talking about health, right? Freedom from disease. Okay. So yeah, you haven't become the person yet. You have to work on becoming the person. And for you have to know what your reason is, like for like being the person, like avoiding these things, avoiding, you know, unhealthy foods and so on, right? Become the person. And then the third one, right? The third reason why it's been difficult for you to maintain healthy eating habits is probably because you haven't suffered enough the consequences of not so healthy choices, right? You haven't felt enough pain, right? So certainly in North America and I guess other developed countries, it's easy to just continue doing whatever because you're going to get medicine. You're going to go to the doctor and you have access to medications to help bring your sugar down, help bring your blood pressure down, help bring your cholesterol down, help with your arthritis. There's surgery available, so you can have joint replacements when your joints get worn out because of the excess weight on them, right? You can have devices to help with sleep apnea, to help push air into the lungs when there's difficulty breathing, right? So you have handicap access, which of course that is totally necessary, right? So you can, and also you have access to wheelchairs easily, not just the push wheelchairs, but those automatic wheelchairs, right? So it's very easy to keep doing what you've been doing because there are the services available to deal with whatever complications that might arise. So yeah, there might be a little pain and discomfort, but it's not as much as if these services were not available. Now in other places where, hey, like there's no surgeon who's gonna replace the knees or the hips or whatever, and so there would be like more tendency towards maybe trying to optimize yourself in like a conservative, natural way as much as possible. There's no CPAP device, so if somebody's really having trouble breathing and suffering the consequences of sleep apnea, including heart failure and all those other things, they would be more likely, right, to actually go and get a specific plan to kind of optimize their weight a bit, right? If somebody's in a place where there are no wheelchairs, there are no automatic wheelchairs, and they don't want to be pushing wheelchairs and so on, so you're going to have no choice but to kind of do what they have to do, right, in terms of making these healthy decisions. Some places there's no medication or there are no doctors, right? And so people really have to hunker down and make the choices, the hard choices, and stick with them in terms of healthy, wholesome eating. Nowadays we have the internet, information is at our fingertips, so it's not that we can't figure it out. We can figure it out, right? So those are basically the main reasons why I think it's difficult for you to stick with healthy eating. To summarize them: one, there's no one around you who's eating healthy, so it's easy to just kind of do what everybody else is doing. Two, you have not become the person who automatically makes those choices, right? And three, you haven't had to suffer enough or feel enough pain, right, from the consequences of eating in an unhealthy fashion. So, think about these things that I said and sort of see where or what you can do to turn things around for yourself so that you can start slowly but surely and then maintain a healthy way of eating. Now, I have a challenge. It's called the Eat More, Weigh Less Challenge for people who are sick and tired of dieting, counting calories, the yo-yo situation of gaining, losing weight, right? And just kind of struggling in general with the eating. That challenge is for you if you've had any of these struggles with your diet and maintaining them. It is very eye-opening, and so you can get on the wait list to find out when I'm hosting the challenge again, or just stay tuned to my different social media platforms so that you can be among the first to find out when we're hosting the 4th of the Eat More, Weigh Less challenge. If you found this video helpful, share it with somebody else, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel to be notified of future videos. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for watching.